Hello students, welcome you all in this video where I am solving science model question paper 4 for the year 2025 and 26, and in this video I am going to solve 1 mark question from part C biology. Let's start with the question. So now we are going to start with part C biology, and in this we are going to start with the section where it is a multiple choice in which four options are given for each question. We have to select the correct option. Here we have to answer 3 questions. Each question carries 3 marks. So total we are going to get 3 marks from this section. So we'll see the question number 26. The process of producing new individual in rhizopus is. So here we have to complete the sentence. So rhizopus, in rhizopus, the process of producing new individual is nothing but reproduction is called as. So see the option. Option A is spore formation. Option B is fragmentation. Option C is budding, and option D is regeneration. So if you see these all the options, the correct option for rhizopus is option A, that is spore formation. It is nothing but a method which shows asexual reproduction. Actually, these all the 4 options are types of or example of asexual reproduction. Fragmentation we can see in case of Spirogyra. Budding we can see in case of Hydra or Amoeba. And regeneration we can see in case of planaria. But the spore formation method we can see in rhizopus. So you maybe have seen there will be a filament like this and it will be a sporangia. In this sporangia there will be spore. So this is the method where we can see the new individual formation in rhizopus. Now we'll see the next question, question number 27. Part of a flower that develops into fruit and part of the flower or part of the seed that develops into root respectively are. Here, little bit tricky question, but it is very easy. We have to tell the part of the flower which develops into fruit. Later, after fertilization, it will develop into fruit, and we have to tell the part of the seed afterwards it develops into root. So very simple. Once the reproduction takes place, the pollen grain, the pollen grain from the anther travels towards the ovary. You maybe have seen. So like this, there will be a style, and here there will be ovary. Inside this, there will be ovule and the female gamete. So pollen grain travels through this pollen tube, and once it fuses into this female gamete in the ovary, the fertilization process takes place, and the zygote will form. And this zygote will develop into seed, and the outer part you can see this ovary will convert into fruit. So therefore the first answer, part of a flower that develop into fruit, is ovary. So the correct is ovary. If you see the option, here also there is ovary, here also there is ovary, here also there is ovary. So we have now 3 options. Now we'll see the second one, the part of the seed that develops into root. So whenever the seed starts growing, so it grow into 2 parts. One will go towards the upper side, and one will try to grow towards the lower side. So the part which goes upper side, here this will develop into shoot, and the part which is going towards downside, this will develop into root, and this part is called as radicle. So this is called as radicle, and the part which is going to develop into shoot, this is called as plumule. Therefore, now we have to search for radicle, and you can see this radicle here and here, but the plumule is wrong one. Therefore, our correct option is C. So C is the correct option. Ovary, it is the part of a flower which develops into fruit, and radicle, it is the part of the seed which develops into root. So the correct answer is option C. So write down answer. You have to write alphabet C, and then you have to write the answer. Remember, in question it is given, write a complete answer with its letter of alphabet. So you have to write both. So this is the answer for question number 27. Now we'll move with the next. Question number 28. Organisms that reproduce sexually are more likely to survive in the environment. So the meaning is, organisms shows 2 types of reproduction, asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction means where one individual is involved, and sexual reproduction means where 2 individuals are involved. So according to this sentence, if the organism is reproducing sexually or by sexual reproduction method, they have more chances of surviving in the environment, because in sexual reproduction, these organisms, so we have to complete the sentence. So see the option A, do not produce any variations. It is wrong actually, because in sexual reproduction, whenever DNA copying takes place, because of that process, we can see much amount of variations. So this is wrong one. B, will not have any errors during DNA replication. So there will be some type of errors into the DNA replication. So here also this is wrong because it is not in our hand. While DNA replicating, it is depending on the conditions, environmental conditions, the condition of the organism, this replication takes place. So this is also wrong. We'll have the same body structure in all generation. For some of the duration it is correct, but as slowly the variations takes place, these variations will accumulate and evolution takes place. So whenever evolution takes place, the body structures also sometimes changes. So that's why this again cannot be the correct option. So the correct one will be D. We'll have maximum number of successful variation in the subsequent generation. As the one generation gives the second generation gives the third generation, the variations will accumulate and passes to generation, and then the evolution occurs. And because of this reason only, they are having more chances of getting survive in the environment. Because as the environmental changes, environment condition changes, the variations you can see in the environment, which will help, sometimes they will help to survive in the changing environment. So therefore correct option is option D. So write down answer D, will have the maximum number of successful variation in the subsequent generation. So now we'll move to the next question. Now here in this section we are going to solve again 1 mark question, but it is not multiple choice. You have to answer in a sentences. So before this, we have completed all multiple choice question. Now come to the theoretical question. Question number 29. What is the function of synapse? So what is the function of synapse? So answer, first we'll see what is synapse. Synapse is the junction between two neurons, between a neuron and a muscle or a gland cell. So what is this synapse? Synapse, it is the gap between the two neurons. So if you remember, if you try to recall the diagram of neurons, so it will be like this. So see here, it will be having this cell body with the nucleus. I am drawing roughly. These are called dendrites, and this is called as axon. This axon will end here, and this is called as axon ending, or we can say nerve ending. Nerve is nothing but neuron. And from here, another neuron will start like this. So see, this is again the axon and the cell body, etc. So like this, all the neurons will be connected to each other. Now if you see here, this is the axon ending, and these are the dendrites of another neuron. So here, the gap between this axon ending of one neuron and dendrites of another neuron. So this gap is called as synapse. So this is nothing but synapse. So synapse, it is the junction between the two neurons. So this is one neuron, this is second neuron, and this is called as a junction. So what is the role of this? What is the function of this? The function is, here you can see, to transmit nerve impulse from one neuron to another neuron. So whatever nerve impulse are carrying through this cell body to this axon, they will come to the axon ending, and from here they will be transferred to the dendrites of the next neuron. And this transfer, or the passing of this message from one neuron to another neuron, or I can say axon ending of one neuron to the dendrites of another neuron, it is done in this synapse. So that is the main function of this synapse. I hope you understood the answer. Now we'll see question number 30. Is self-pollination possible in flower that have only stamens? Justify your answer. So see here the question is self-pollination? If the flower is having only stamen, then in that flower can we see self-pollination? That is the question. So here the answer is no, we cannot see self-pollination in a flower which is having only stamen. What do you mean by self-pollination? Self-pollination means the transfer, I'll write it here, the transfer of pollen grain from anther to the stigma, anther to the stigma of a same flower. See here, what is the definition? What is self? Self means in the same flower. If the pollen grain from the same flower is transferring to the stigma of the same flower, imagine, I'll draw here one simple diagram. So this is the style, this is the ovary, see here, this is the peduncle, and these are the petals like this. And in this flower, imagine these are pollen grains with the anther. Now, Here there is a stigma of this. Now what happens? In this flower, we have both stamen as well as stigma, means male reproductive system as well as female. So here this is male reproductive part and this is female reproductive part. So see what happens? From anther, the pollen grain will transfer to the stigma of the same flower and this is called as self. So for self-pollination compulsory, we should have male and female both the reproductive part in the same flower. And here in the question they have told the flower is having only stamen. It don't have pistil. So we cannot see self-pollination. That is the justification. So same thing I have written here. See here. Self-pollination is not possible in a flower that have only stamen because they do not have stigma to receive pollen. This is the answer for this question number 30. Now we'll see the next question. Question number 31 says the respiration rate of aquatic animals is faster than that is found in terrestrial animals. Why? The respiration rate means speed of the respiration. Respiration means inhaling and exhaling. The speed of the respiration in aquatic animal is faster, it seems. What is aquatic animal? The animal which stay in water like fish or prawns or other water animals, etc. So here the respiration speed in aquatic animal is faster than the animals which are present on terrestrial. Terrestrial means land, like all the animals. So we have to tell the reason for this. Very simple reason for this. For respiration, we require oxygen gas. As we all know, oxygen gas, O2. This oxygen is more on land and this oxygen gas is less in water. And whatever oxygen is present in water, it will be in a dissolved form. Remember, dissolved form. So oxygen will be dissolved in the water. And water cannot dissolve more oxygen. Remember this first. In water, we cannot dissolve more oxygen. Therefore, water will be having less amount of oxygen compared to land. Aquatic animals have faster respiration rate because water contains much less dissolved oxygen than air. So they must breathe more rapidly to obtain enough oxygen. If they want more oxygen, they have to breathe more rapidly. And therefore, the speed or the respiration rate of aquatic animal will be faster compared to the animal present on terrestrial or the land. So this is the answer for question number 31. So here I have completed 1 mark question, that is multiple choice, as well as theoretical question from this part C biology. I hope these all the answers will help you to prepare for your final exam. If you like my all the videos, then share my videos with your all friends. And if you are getting little bit also help from these all the videos, please consider subscribing my channel. And if you have any doubts, comment those doubts in the videos. Thank you so much.